I've got a hard truth that alternative people are not going to want to hear. The concept of anti-authoritarianism is used on punk rock teenagers to convince them that there is a cool and hip way to agree with the United States government. And you don't even have to agree with them that much. The only thing that matters is that you hate the US government's political enemies just as much as they do. And that you will never, under any circumstances, successfully bring about a socialist revolution in the US borders. The truth is that there is no way for you to be anti-authoritarian if your foreign policy analysis is the same as the US government's. And that's because the United States government is the most authoritarian presence on the planet. And every other country around the planet has to conduct themselves today in relation to the United States authoritarian presence. Meanwhile, the United States exports oppression, misery, chaos, and confusion to other countries around the globe daily, presenting itself as the ultimate worldwide militarized authority figure, with a might and force so strong and powerful that the only chance other countries have to fight back against the United States is to develop themselves into a similarly militarized presence. By discrediting other militarized countries as authoritarian, you are in fact just endorsing the already existing authoritarian status quo of the USA. By condemning other countries' rights to develop the infrastructure necessary to defend themselves from us. And these countries are usually located in the global south. They are usually full of vulnerable and marginalized people just doing their best to survive and not be wiped off the face of the planet by us. By attempting to apply a two things can be true at once mentality to the world, which seeks to equally demonize both countries who are fighting off oppression and the countries who are oppressing them, you are doing the United States government's work for free. You are just telling them that they are not allowed to fight back. You are propping up the most authoritarian regime in human existence. There is no counterculture or punk rock way to be an unwitting asset of the US State Department. You are not representing the interests of marginalized groups around the globe when you do this, because you have chosen to believe the US government's lie that these countries' attempts to block out US propaganda, US financial influence, and US saboteurs seeking to literally overthrow their governments is actually somehow them oppressing their own people. Which means you really shouldn't care what the US government does there, because they kind of have it coming. Stop that. That is not punk rock. Knock that off right now.